Send a paperback book to every serviceman and woman in the Middle East.
Someone said to me, what do you think they're going to do? Read a paragraph or two and stick it in their pocket and then shoot a while? But they would be in paperback that they could put it in their pocket and carry it with them. That way they wouldn't lose it. Oh, here's some more of that.
The group spent part of the afternoon boxing several hundred used books, westerns, mysteries, some nonfiction, but no religious or pornographic material. The Saudis won't let that in. What most worries these folks, though, isn't failure, it's success. After all, there are hundreds of thousands of old paperbacks out there just waiting for a second chance at life.
It's a little overwhelming, but we'll figure out some way to do it.
Everybody that I've talked to, their first reaction is books, and then they think, that's a good idea. And then they say, yeah, we'd be glad to help.
The group says it is getting cooperation from the government, although it's still firming up plans for actually shipping the books overseas. There is no doubt here that the shipping problem will be overcome.
It makes me feel really good to be able to make a form of contact with the people over there.
The guys over there are so bored right at this moment. The ones that, aren't on duty or something, they're reading diet manuals.
Dave Helling, Action 4 News.
Now, if you'd like to donate books to help in Operation Book Lift, here's what to do. Drop off used books at any Bob's IGA grocery store in the metro area. You can call for other drop-off sites in the area by calling Operation Book Lift at 241-9800 or 353-4555. We'll have those numbers for you again a little later on Sunrise. The United Nations is primed for debate on the Persian Gulf crisis later today, but it looks like one member will be absent, Iraq. The U.S. is refusing to allow Iraqi Airways jetliners to land in New York. Baghdad's foreign minister says Iraq won't participate in the debate until one of its planes is allowed to land. The State Department says it's considering the matter. Meanwhile, more than 100 Americans spent the night at home after spending weeks in captivity in the Middle East. They arrived Sunday in North Carolina on what is expected to be the last freedom flight out of the Middle East. Fear of a Gulf war is driving gas prices up even higher. The latest Lundberg study of prices nationwide shows they've hit an all-time high. A survey of gas stations Friday found the average price jumped nearly 3 cents in 2 weeks, an average of $1.30 a gallon. Well, the price for a barrel of oil could top out at $36 a barrel on Wall Street today, that fueled by a fear of war in the Gulf. As Bruce Francis reports, traders are bracing to wage a war of their own on Wall Street.
Saddam Hussein signals he's ready for the mother of all battles, and the buy signals break out in New York. That sent oil up to levels unseen on this exchange. Trading was thin as last-minute buyers sought to cover short positions before the weekend. Some traders were baffled about the prospects as oil prices staked out new heights.
I've been down here for 17 years. I've seen markets react to potential news up and down. Well, I've never seen anything like this.
But some analysts feel that prices will be meeting resistance soon.
I think that 34 is a reasonable level because at that sort of level, people are cutting back.
And we might have to, especially on gasoline. Some major refineries are being closed for maintenance. That may mean more purchases by energy companies of refined gasoline on the more expensive spot market. Over the next week or so, the last pre-embargo tankers of oil from Kuwait and Iraq will be arriving in American harbors. And thus begins the Gulf Gap. Less oil at refineries at a time when American demand is gearing up for the heating oil season of the fall and winter.
You won't see the increased OPEC production coming in probably for, again, another 4 to 6 weeks. But by which time world demand will be in a full winter pattern.
Trimble says he expects consumers to get the picture soon and start hoarding heating oil for fall. Bruce Francis, New York.
One thing that will be on President Bush's mind this morning is a threat from Iraq's Saddam Hussein. Baghdad Radio is broadcasting a government statement saying if other nations try to force Iraq out of Kuwait, there could be dire consequences. Those consequences include the destruction of Middle East oil fields and an attack on Israel. President Bush, meanwhile, is set to meet with South African President F.W. de Klerk in just a few hours at the White House. The meeting today is the first summit between the two nations in 45 years. President de Klerk is expected to update President Bush on South Africa's end to apartheid. Burning the midnight oil did little to help budget bargainers negotiate a deal in trimming the federal deficit, so they'll be back at the table later this morning in search of a solution. They're hoping to cut $500 billion in deficit reductions through fiscal year 1995. The capital gains tax is one obstacle to an agreement. Well, after a retreat on Wall Street Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average must work to gain the 6 points lost. The market opens in just a few hours with the Dow set at 2,512.38. The Tokyo Stock Exchange is closed today because of the Japanese national holiday, Autumnal Equinox Day. Something will be missing from the Wilson Food Plant in Marshall, Missouri this morning. It's workers. Union workers voted over the weekend to go on strike. They rejected the company's latest contract offer, and opted for around-the-clock picketing instead. 400 workers are on strike. Another 500 have been laid off since June. Union representatives charge Wilson Foods for trying to cut wages by more than $1 an hour. The list of the 10 best companies to work for is out if you're a woman. Working Mother magazine picks Apple Computer, Beth Israel Hospital in Boston, DuPont, HBO, IBM, just to name a few. These companies, according to the magazine, are the most innovative and advanced in child care, family-friendly benefits, and the pay and advancement of women. Well, your Kansas City area forecast may be advancing back to warmer temperatures. Dave Dusick has your first fall forecast next. 49 degrees, however, very cool on Signal Hill as we head up on 13 minutes after the hour.
Liberty mailman Gail Douglas was only inches from a stroke when this highly sophisticated color-flow duplex scanner revealed major blockage in the carotid artery. With no time to lose, the skilled vascular surgeon